Country Radio Award, and welcome to my review for Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit. This is the new movie that's coming out in cinemas in the UK. It's based upon the Tom Clancy novel, and what do I think about it? Actually pretty decent, considering that I had no expectations for this movie. I had no original intention of watching this movie at the cinemas. It's just the fact that I am working at Odeon and actually getting tickets, especially certain films for free. I can watch these movies and I walk out, only my time wasted. And obviously with Devil's Due, that was a very clear example of actually wasting 1 hour and 40 minutes of my life in a sense. This movie actually looked pretty decent, and I hoped it was, and I actually really enjoyed it to the most part. It was a good international thriller. So let's talk about Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit. So Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit is directed by Kenneth Branagh. He's also in this movie. He's playing the main Russian bad guy in a sense. The storyline follows the origins of Jack Ryan, how he became this kind of intelligence CIA operative in a way. Of course, if you've watched the other movies, of course, The Hunt for Red October, The Sons of Orpheus, and Patriot Games and all those other movies. This is going to go back to basics. It's kind of like a kind of reboot in a sense, but same going back to the origins of how this character explored, and I actually quite liked it. I mean, Chris Pine is the main actor playing the character this time around. Of course, with previous ones from Alan Baldwin and Harrison Ford, it's a pretty tough act to follow, and I think he did a pretty decent job. I mean, he's still playing the typical kind of lovable kind of rogue in a way, but I felt he was better in this movie. I think he's learned a little bit from Star Trek, and I felt he was not as douchey-ish, if that's a good word or that's a good expression in terms of acting. He's getting better, folks, which is good to see. He's still, a typical action guy, but I like the fact in the movie he is still learning. He's good at Wall Street, he's good at mathematicals, kind of thing like that, and he's noticing something is big is going on, something is scheming in Russia in terms of Wall Street, and something is big is going to happen in terms of the economy. And I think I like the fact that he gets into these kind of situations, especially between the fight scenes, especially the first fight scene he does have. I felt was very intense. I felt it was kind of like a mix between kind of Casino Royale meets kind of Bourne Identity in a way, in terms of that fight scene went down, in the sense that he was, when he got punched or when he got injured, he literally did get injured, and it wasn't the fact because of his training, and I think is justified in that sense. He has military training, he has he's in the Marines, the only reason he survived because he knew how to kind of react quickly to situations, and he was practical in a sense. He used whatever he could in the bathroom, using the toilet, using waters, anything he could physically could do, and his physical strength he could do to try and take down this bad person. I really liked that. I felt he gave a bit of vulnerability to the character, and I really was rooting for him to go on, survive. And there's definitely scenes later on where he's literally just running, and it's holy shit, this is really intense, this is really action packed, good scoring as well. And I liked how he got just really time consuming in a way, in the sense of just come on, a little bit faster, and I was really getting sucked into it. It's really fantastic. I mean, it's a good international thriller. It's not a typical James Bond action movie. There is things going on behind the scenes in that sense, but it's a case of hacking and computers and that type of thing, and it's a case of being quick on your feet, and especially some of the car chase sequences and some of the intense moments where Kenneth Branagh's character, the Russian character, is definitely threatening him, or definitely he's got that kind of sly look, or intelligent kind of backfires in a sense, in a way. You also got Kevin Costner in this movie. Of course, he plays the CIA agent that recruits Jack Ryan. I felt he did a pretty decent job, but he's not really doing huge much. I think he's trying to get back into movies again properly. Last good movie I saw him in was Mr. Brooks. It was a fantastic movie. I really enjoyed that. But nice to see him back in a good, spy movie again. He's always good acting. I like his presence, I like his voice, and it's nice to see him back on screen. You got Keira Knightley in this movie also. Good American accent, pretty impressive, but Keira Knightley a bit annoying in a way. She's not the best actress, if I'm perfectly honest. Very easily forgettable. I'm not watching the movie because of her. She is attractive to some degree, I suppose, but I'm watching it for the story, and I'm watching it for the characters. I'm not watching it for her. Let's just put it that way. Kenneth Branagh is the actual Russian villain. I felt he was pretty impressive. It wasn't kind of massive Shakespeare kind of thing, or his other movies have been. So if you're expecting that, don't expect too much. He is just a certain type of villain. He is going to like bleed America dry in a sense, and he's just wanting revenge. That is purely it. You know, I like the fact that he is quite menacing in some of the situations, especially like when he's got a certain decision in his head, he just goes for it. You know, he kind of outwits this in an intelligent conversation, or if he's going to shoot you, he'll just shoot you. I thought this was a really good start to the Jack Ryan franchise. We'll just see how they continue on these kind of series of movies. They might, you know, do a whole brand new collection of movies. Chris Pine was pretty good. The casting was pretty good. Story was pretty interesting. You know, typical first origin story. You know, it's fast paced, intense. I liked it. I got a kick out of it. It was definitely worth a cinema watch. It was better than average. So yeah, Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit, go and check it out. It's a pretty fun movie, you know. Get exactly what he says on the tin in a sense. So my review for Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit. I hope you enjoyed watching this review. Have you seen the movie? What do you think? Do you think it was good? Do you think it's bad? Any opinions? Comment down below. So in the meantime, Andrew from Reboot TV. Signing out.